The dining room hums with soft jazz and self-congratulation. A sleek black Tesla key fob gleams beneath the chandelier as Ethan, calming and smug, grins at his reflection in the polished table. Mara watches from across the table, her fork idle in midair. Their parents, Richard and Elaine, toast to hard work paying off, their smiles resting only on Ethan. "You'll get there too, sweetie," Elaine adds, her tone dipped in pity. Mara forces a smile, the kind that hides splintering glass, when her father adds, "You've just got to work harder." The words lodge like shrapnel. Her gaze flicks to the Tesla logo, then into her reflection in the silver spoon, distorted but awake. She says nothing, but in her silence something sharp is born. A vow. The music swells. Her pulse steadies, and she whispers to herself, "One day I'll remember this night differently." Rain streaks down the windshield of Mara's old Civic as headlights smear into color. The engine rattles, like exhaustion personified. Her reflection in the rearview mirror looks foreign, eyes red, lips tight. The Tesla's taillights ahead slice through the downpour, a cruel mirage of privilege speeding away. Her grip on the steering wheel tightens. Tears slide down unnoticed. "Work harder," echoes in her head, every syllable turning into fuel. By the time she turns onto the empty highway, her tears are gone. Only focus remains. The apartment is small but alive with possibility. Mara sits before a whiteboard. The words, "Found something real," scrawled across it. The clock ticks past midnight. Bills scatter like fallen leaves on the counter. She adds one last word beneath her mantra, "dealership." The pen squeaks, defiant. A single desk lamp casts her shadow high on the wall, large and unbroken. Flashbacks ripple. Mara's childhood trophies collecting dust while Ethan's medals gleamed in the family case. Her college graduation with no one in the audience. Her mother saying, "You're just not a car person." Each memory folds into the next. Smiles, dismissals, silence. The voiceover fades, replaced by the hum of resolve. Back in the present, Mara stands by her window. The city hums below, indifferent but alive. She whispers her vow again, firmer this time. "Thou'll know my name." Her reflection merges with the skyline lights, the storm outside fading into a new dawn. The fluorescent buzz of the office feels louder than usual. Mara sits in her cubicle, a screen full of spreadsheets before her. Her manager, Tom Easy Smile, avoids her eyes as he hands a promotion letter to another coworker. "Next quarter, maybe," he mumbles. Her jaw tightens. It's always next quarter. The office air smells of burnt coffee and quiet resignation. She stares at her paycheck, then folds it neatly into her bag. Standing, she gathers her things with deliberate calm. "I quit," she says, her voice steady but sharp enough to cut the hum of printers. The room goes still. No one meets her gaze. She steps into the elevator. The door is closing on her reflection. Tired, yes, but finally free. The small auto shop smells of oil and old ambition. Mara wipes grease from her palms as Gus, the owner, rough hands, denim jacket stained with time, studies her resume. "You sure you want this?" he asks. She nods without hesitation. He chuckles, shaking his head. "Most people your age don't like getting dirty." She smiles faintly. "Most people my age don't like starting over." He hands her a wrench instead of a handshake. In that moment, she doesn't just find a job. She finds a teacher. Nights blur into mechanical rhythm, sockets, torque wrenches, and late deliveries. Mara learns the feel of engines like heartbeats. Her hands blister, then heart. Her mind sharpens between repair invoices and online business tutorials, playing on an old tablet. The hum of fluorescent light becomes a lullaby of effort. Each spark, each drop of sweat, feels like a promise rewritten. When the last car leaves at dawn, she stays to sweep the floor, not out of duty, but belief. Rejection letters pile up like dust on her table. Banks say no. Investors laugh. You own a dealership? She rereads every email until disbelief becomes background noise. Rent's late. Her cupboards echo. Yet when Gus offers her extra shifts, she declines. Too focused on her own dream to trade hours for someone else. One night she looks at her balance. $412. Then she opens her laptop and applies for a small business license anyway. Gang. Morning light pours through the cracked windshield of her old Civic, the same one that carried her tears months ago. She runs her hand along the dashboard before signing the sale papers. It got me this far, she murmurs. The buyer hands her a check, small but heavy with meaning. As the Civic drives away, she stands still, holding the envelope against her chest. Her phone buzzes. Application approved. For the first time, she smiles without pain. The sign reads, Marrow Motors. It's a name born from her own, Mara Owens, carved into identity and ambition. The lot is small, the asphalt cracked, but the cars gleam under a sharp morning sun. She stands in front of her first dealership, a single employee waiting beside a rusted gate. We open in 5, she says, voice trembling with both fear and pride. A single banner flutters. Grand opening. No ribbon-cutting ceremony. No champagne. Just grit and sunrise. As she flips the sign from closed to open, she feels something monumental. Power in motion. Days blur into motion. She posts videos of herself fixing engines, explaining car care, telling the truth about overpriced dealerships. People listen. They trust her. Sales trickle in, then flood. She answers every call, shakes every hand, signs every sale. One viral clip. She fixes, she sells, she owns. Launches her brand into the feeds of the city. For once, people see what her parents never did. Work ethic, wrapped in intelligence, grit laced with grace. On her phone, Mara scrolls past Ethan's newest post, him leaning against his Tesla, captioned, Success looks good on me, she smirks faintly, then locks the screen. Her world is louder now, busier, hungrier. Yet this silence between them still hums. She doesn't delete the photo. She doesn't comment. She just whispers, It's going to look even better on me. Competitors start noticing her. The dealerships run by men in pressed suits with inherited names. They mock her in whispers. She counters in numbers. Better service. Honest prices. Cars that leave customers grinning instead of bleeding. Her lot buzzes with energy. Her name spreads by word of mouth. Late one night, Mara leans against the hood of a sold car, counting cash under a flickering lamp. They'll come for me soon, she murmurs, and she smiles. Not afraid, but ready. A year passes like a heartbeat. Her office transforms. Polished glass, custom signage, clients lined up. She signs her first major deal, partnership with a regional distributor. When the contract lands on the table, she hesitates for just a second. Then she takes the silver pen and scrawls her name, Mara Owens, bold and deliberate. The ink gleams under the ceiling light like metal. She leans back, exhales and smiles. Not in triumph, but recognition. She's finally becoming the person she always was. The bell above the showroom door jingles, a sound she's grown to love. But this time it freezes her breath. Richard and Elaine step inside, dressed in Sunday best, scanning the dealership with curious awe. Mara stands behind the reception desk, heart racing beneath her calm smile. They don't recognize her, not yet. Is the manager in? Richard asks, proud as ever. She'll be right with you, Mara replies evenly. They wander through the rows of gleaming cars, commenting on the polished class. Her mother says softly, Whoever owns this must have worked hard. For the first time in years, Mara nearly laughs. Moments later, Ethan strides in, Tesla keys flashing between his fingers. He's more polished, more entitled. So this is where you work? He teases, glancing at her desk. Mara smiles faintly. Something like that. He pats her shoulder, the gesture both pitying and patronizing. Hey, maybe you'll sell me my next one, huh? Her lips twitch but don't answer. Elaine snaps a photo of Ethan beside a luxury coupe. Proud mother's glow intact. Mara turns away, eyes flicking toward the office glass where her own name glints. Unseen by them, not for long. Her parents browse, praising the professionalism and decor. Mara watches them with surgical calm. When Richard begins negotiating prices with her employee, she listens quietly. The owner must be sharp, he says approvingly. A man who knows value. Mara can't help the soft chuckle that escapes her. Her mother looks at her puzzled. Something funny. Mara straightens. Just proud of the place, she says. Eyes steady. Pride. Theirs. Hers. Finally feels like different currencies. Later that evening, Mara meets Victor Liang. 38. Sharp suit. Investor eyes that see numbers before people. He slides a folder across the table. Franchise expansion, he says. You've outgrown this place. She hesitates only long enough to breathe. Signing feels like cutting ties with gravity. Congratulations, Victor smiles. You're officially a brand. Her dealership, her name, will now light up across 3 cities. Weeks later, a convoy of flatbeds rolls into the city, all bearing the familiar Tesla emblem. The irony tastes like victory. The struggling chain she buys out once fueled her brother's ego. The paperwork is swift, the transaction flawless. Her name now adorns every dealership sign. As she tours the empty showroom of her newest acquisition, she places a hand on the wall and whispers, "Welcome home." The echo carries the sound of poetic justice. The morning of the rebranding event breaks with a skyline of camera cranes and polished chrome. Mara stands behind the tinted glass of her office, watching crews hang the new banner. Below, a crowd gathers. Influencers, executives, even her parents, invited by the new owner. She breathes in slow, steady. This isn't revenge by fire. It's victory by reflection. Her assistant knocks gently. "They're ready for you, Ms. Owens." She nods once. Outside, flashbulbs start to pop. Inside, the air feels sacred. The girl who once watched a Tesla key gleam under family laughter now stands on the other side of the world, the side that wins. The press conference hums with excitement. Richard, Elaine, and Ethan stand near the front row, oblivious. A large curtain hides the dealership sign. Mara steps onto the stage. Applause swelling. Her voice, calm and measured, carries across microphones. "Today we celebrate hard work, the kind that starts where others stop." Her eyes find her parents briefly, and for a fraction of a second, the silence between them becomes electric. "This isn't just a dealership," she continues. "It's a promise to anyone told they weren't enough." The curtain drops. Gasps ripple through the air as sunlight strikes the silver letters. Marrow Motors. The name burns brighter than any luxury brand. Forged from her pain, her effort, her name. Cameras flash. Elaine's mouth falls open. Richard goes pale. Ethan removes his sunglasses slowly, disbelief flickering to recognition. Mara doesn't flinch. She simply steps back and lets her success speak louder than she ever could. The Tesla that once symbolized favoritism glints in the corner of the lot, now under her brand's banner. Ethan approaches it, bewildered, his reflection warped in the chrome. Mara joins him quietly. "Funny," she says, voice low. "How ownership changes everything." He looks at her, for the first time, not as a sister beneath him, but as someone far above. Words fail him. Her gaze doesn't linger long. She turns toward the cameras, letting his silence follow her, like an old shadow finally fading. As cameras flash, Richard and Elaine step forward, still reeling. "Mara, you own this." Her mother breathes. She nods, serene. Richard's jaw tightens. Pride wrestling shame. We underestimated you, he says quiet. You always did, she replies. The press surges, microphones thrust forward, but Mara's voice cuts through. This dealership isn't revenge. It's a reminder that value can't be given. It's built. The applause swells. For the first time, her parents stand in a crowd that claps for her. The air inside Mara's glass-walled office hums with silence. A heavy, waiting kind. Richard, Elaine, and Ethan sit opposite her, surrounded by chrome, leather, and glass, the materials of her triumph. The walls gleam with her name. Richard clears his throat first. We should talk, he says, voice low, stripped of thunder. Mara leans back, unbothered, the faint sound of city traffic seeping through the glass. We are talking, she replies. The family who once dismissed her now sits inside her empire, framed by her success. The symmetry is perfect, cruel, but honest. Elaine breaks the silence. We didn't mean to, she starts, her voice trembling. To hurt you. Mara studies her mother, the same eyes now smaller under regret. Richard stays rigid, pride cracking at the edges. You've done well, he says flatly. Better than we expected. Mara smiles faintly. Better than you allowed. The words hang heavy, clean as glass shards. The silence that follows isn't angry. It's the sound of a hierarchy collapsing. Ethan finally speaks. I didn't know it would hurt you that much, he says softly. It wasn't personal. Mara tilts her head. It never is. Until it is, it looks away. Jaw tight, shame wrestling habit. She exhales, leaning forward, her tone colder now. You wanted to be the success story. Congratulations. You made one. Ethan's lips part, but no sound comes. In his silence, she hears the echo of every dismissal and lets it die there. Richard rises slowly. We should go, he mutters, standing not from authority, but defeat. Elaine touches Mara's arm. We're proud of you, sweetheart. The word hits differently this time. Not patronizing, but earnest. Mara gives a small nod. Good, she says softly. It only took a dealership. She rises, walks them to the door, and for the first time in her life, they follow her lead. The door closes with a soft thud. Mara stands alone, her reflection doubled across the glass. One side sharp, one fading. She stares at her own name etched into the office wall, then whispers the words her father once used to crush her. Work harder. Only this time, it sounds like triumph, not instruction. The city hums outside, a living witness to her transformation. She exhales, steady, final. Revenge, she realizes, isn't rage. It's mastery. Night settles over the city like silk. Mara stands on the rooftop of her flagship dealership, the skyline reflected in the glass facade below. The neon Merrow Motors sign hums behind her, a lullaby of power. She closes her eyes, the wind lifting her hair, the scent of rain mingling with the metallic tang of success. From up here, the roads weave like veins through the city, the same streets she once drove crying, now pulsing under her name. For the first time, she allows herself to simply exist, not to fight, not to prove, but to breathe. Memories flicker, not as pain, but as film reels of who she used to be. The dinner table, the Tesla key, the fork shaking in her hand, the endless nights at Gus's shop, the rain-smeared windshield. They play in reverse, each frame dissolving into starlight. She smiles faintly. Forgiveness isn't required. Understanding is enough. The girl who once needed validation no longer recognizes the one who does. She descends into the garage below. A sleek, custom electric coupe waits, silver with her company's emblem etched into the hood. Mara runs her hand over the smooth surface, pride in every gesture. Built to last, she murmurs. She slides behind the wheel, engine purring in silence. This isn't about showing off. It's about coming full circle, driving forward in something no one gave her. As the car glides through the sleeping city, the voiceover hums low and calm. Success doesn't shout. It arrives. Streetlights streak past like memories shedding weight. Her reflection in the glass flickers, no longer divided between who she was and who she is. The roads, once drenched in rain, now glow like molten silver beneath her wheels. Every red light, every turn, feels like a heartbeat she's finally earned. She parks outside her dealership just before dawn. The horizon blushes pale pink as the first sunlight strikes the glass. Mara steps out, the wind gentle, her heels clicking on concrete. She turns, looking at her reflection in the vast showroom window, her name glowing above it. For a long moment, she simply stares, her expression unreadable. Then, a small smile, not of victory, of peace. The camera lingers as she walks away, her reflection fading, her legacy staying behind.